Hello guys, welcome to my new video. In this video I will talk about another j-component from j-component library from Total.js. In this video I will talk about j-DataGrid and I will show you some basic stuff what you can achieve with this component. We can start with some theory and I will show you where you can find j-DataGrid at componentator.com and you will search for DataGrid. Here it is. j-DataGrid is a component that can render a lot of data on a web page with many functionalities. It looks like a table with headers and it can render more than 30,000 rows seamlessly. It supports sorting data, filtering data, checkboxes, resizing of columns, vertical and horizontal scrolling with custom scroll bars independent of operating system, also supports drag and drop columns, responsiveness and dark mode. All this makes it a complex yet versatile component you can use in a matter of moments. This component is used little differently from previous components because here we will use script tag inside our UI component tag. In this script we will define which column we want to render, how will they look, and also some functionality for them. So I think we can start with coding. I prepared blank page with UI plugin, as you can see, with some margin and border to looks better on the page. Now we can add here our component. So we will write UI component tag with attributes name, which will be DataGrid, path, which we set to items, and config. And we will leave this config empty for now. As a next step, we will add here script tag with attribute type and with value text slash plain. And here in the script, we will add array of objects where every object will represent one column in our grid. But before we start with this, we can include data we will want to render. So we will create plugin here in the script tag. Plugin will be common because we use here UI plugin with path common. And we can put here function, exports, okay. I prepared some data, so we can just copy it here. And as you can see, the data are in the form of array of objects, and every object includes ID, name, age, phone, email, online, and created. We have 5 objects like this. Now we can save these objects or this data to our path items, because this is the path from which our data will be rendered. So exports, set, items, and array. Okay. In our data grid, we want to render name, age, phone, email, online, and created in columns. So we will start with name. When we want to render name, we have to put here in this object property name, and the value will be name of the property we want to render here. So in our case, it's also name. As a second property here, we will use text. And text is the header of this column. So it will be also name. Now we can save this, and when we will refresh our page, you can see that the data from our objects are rendered in our data grid. Palo, Peťo, Dodo, Marek, Luis, same as here, Palo, Peťo, Dodo, Marek, Luis. Also, we can add here another property which will be width, and I will set it to 200, and this is width in pixels of our column, because default width is 150 pixels, and when I set it like here and save it and refresh our page, you can see that the column is now wider, and as you can see, it's 200 pixels. We don't have to define here type for this column, because the default type is string, and this is also string, so this is not necessary. And as you can see, there is also a place for a filter, and we can put here, for example, A, and press enter, and as you can see, the only rendered values are that which includes A. So Palo and Marek, and other values are Peťo without A, Dodo without A, and Luis without A. As a next column, we want to have age. So we will make it like before. We put here name. The name will be age, because that's the property we want to render here. The text will be age, because we want to know that age is in this column. And now when we save it and refresh our page, you can see that the age appeared as a second column. But the age isn't type of string, so we change it with type, and the type will be number. Now when we save it and refresh our page, you can see that the numbers are aligned to the right side of the cell. It is because it's easier to orientate in the numbers if they are aligned on one side of the cell. Also, the header is aligned in the middle, and filter is working also for numbers. For example, we can filter for 26, for example, or we can filter in ranges. So I will put here maybe 25 to 32 and press enter, and the rows with these numbers are rendered in our data grid. But be careful, you have to use space between dash and the number, because without it the filter is not working. But when we put the spaces back, the filter is working correctly, so be careful. Another column will be phone. So again, name will be phone, text will be phone. And now when we save it and refresh our page, you can see that column phone appeared here, but now it's in data type like string. So we will change it, and we will put here type for phone. Now we will refresh it again. And as you can see, icon of the phone appeared here, and also when we are hovering above one of the phone numbers, there is underline under this phone number. Also, when you want to call this number, there is functionality that it's enough to click on one of the numbers, and our browser will try to call this number. The next object will be for property email. So again, name will be email, text will be email, and again we will save this and refresh our page. Email is rendered as string, so we'll put type here, which will be email, and again refresh our page. So it's kind of similar as for numbers, because icon of a letter appeared here before every email address. When we will hover about some of the email addresses, the underline will appear, and when we want to send an email to some of these addresses, it's just enough to click on some of the emails. For example, when I click on this email, we are automatically redirected to some mail services, and email address is filled here. So this video is already about 11 minutes long, so I think I will cut it here and we will make a part 2. In the part 2 we will continue with last properties, online and created, and also I will show you how you can catch a click event on every row, how you can add control panel with buttons for every row, and how you can use these checkboxes in every row. So I hope you enjoyed this video, you learned something new, and stay tuned for the next one. Have a great day.